All right, so basically it's June, Pride Month. My birthday's coming up. That's on a Saturday though, so Friday's gonna be celebrating that. Um, but we gonna start out this month strong. As you can tell from the title and thumbnail, we gonna start this month out strong. And since we're on this topic, I have I've never revealed this publicly, not because I'm ashamed of it, but because it's not something I like to make a focal point on myself with. Like I don't make it my own personality or nothing, but it's more so just something minor. I'm bi like Frank Ocean. I know I made that as a joke, but I'm dead serious. I'm actually bi. But I bring that up because it relates to the topic at hand in the sense of, well, straight people as well, but the LGBTQ community, the acronym community, we're sick of this. We're sick of this man. Yes, I'm gonna be misgendering him because you don't. No, you don't. No, we gon' you already you already know. But we gonna be misgendering him. Y'all gonna and for those who don't know about this man, we gonna see why. We're gonna be talking about Lilly Tino. This is a trans. I wish I had my webcam on, but y'all see me putting the quotes. Trans woman who has been gaining traction since last. Well, I've known about him since last year, I believe. Yeah. Um, and we ain't even gonna like that's technically that's what he is, but we gonna call him a trans activist because there's a difference between actual transgenders, and trans activists, and he's a trans activist. And the thing with him, he's one of the very few people. I'm hoping my mic ain't too close. That I would call to be deplatformed. It's very rare that I will ever say somebody deserves to be deplatformed, but he does. But this is somebody that I believe deserves to be deplatformed because he is problematic. Not only he actively like makes his mission. I probably don't have like a video of that. I probably don't have like a video ready set to show this one. He actively makes his mission to like try to quote unquote expose people. Really, he creates problems that aren't even there, or he like exaggerates an issue that shouldn't even be an issue, right? He tries to get people fired from their jobs. He's just extremely rude to others. He is just extremely problematic, and I got evidence. I got videos to show his whole his whole TikTok is just problematic in itself. But I got some stuff ready. Like starting off with this, we got him supposedly being quote unquote misgendered at Disney. Now from this frame, hold on, I'm gonna actually
That is
from this frame alone, you can see or if you look at the thumbnail, he looks like a dude still. He looks like a man still. And many he still holds his features. And what I believe is that he's somewhat trying hard to identify as a woman, yet he's doing very minimal to switch over. Even switch over. So people are automatically going to assume, well, this is just a cross-dressing man. There's plenty of them out there. Cross-dressing has been a thing like in history. It's it's historical, and we don't really. Well, a lot of people, we just don't want to cause problems. So oh, hey, that we see that as a cross-dressing man, so we're gonna address you as sir.
Fancy looking. Cool.
The bottom is from Thailand.
Coconut bread from Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Yes,
Ma'am.
yeah, sorry, my bad. And
You see this? First off, this looks pretty nice, but he like okay. I guess if you want to correct somebody, you can, but it's not an issue, especially when he knows how he looks. He's very aware how he looks, especially in a clip that I'm going to show later. He's aware of how he looks, yet he's actively making it an issue more than it is. I don't think he's here trying to destroy this, like try to like ruin this person's life by trying to get them fired, but he, from what I've learned, a real transgender suffering from gender dysphoria, they may or may not like make a correction, but they will also understand how they look, and so if somebody does, address them by how they seem, they're not gonna make an issue about it. There's gonna just keep it. They're gonna, do their best to just keep things moving. Don't, try not to make an issue about it. Things happen, but with Lily actively trying to make things an issue.
the middle one is from India. It's the papadom with the gingerbread chutney,
Okay.
and the third is from Brazil. It's a cheese bread with the guava sauce.
Thank you. Just like
It is
totally
not that
sucks the
deep.
joy out of this bread tower.
It is not that deep. You know how you look. You knew it. You go to places knowing that it's going to happen, and you make it an issue when it didn't need to
Makes me
be.
want to immediately like leave because I no longer feel like safe here. It's like, oh, my guard now has to be up. I'm not going to enjoy this bread as much because my guard is up.
How do you feel unsafe? I'm not going to keep repeating myself. Just how do you feel unsafe,
We
sir?
should be able to go places and not have to worry. I don't think I really want this bread tower, actually. I think I'd rather have the check if that's
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And now we're wasting food. Wasting food because you wanted to make things an issue when there wasn't. We just gonna move on. We just gonna move on. What is this next clip? Oh, next clip is a fake story, and plenty of people, like I myself, and plenty of people believe that this particular video right here is a fake story, and I will exactly point out why.
Factory. And when I walked,
Hold on, let me muffle.
I was
Let me.
just in the women's room at a cheesecake factory. And when I walked in, there was this little girl, like 3 years old, tops. She was standing there alone, I assumed waiting for her parent who was in the stall. And all the stall
Pause. That alone, two things already. One, as I let it, I'm gonna let this video play out a little more. Notice how he the strips the gender from the mother, because clearly it's a mother in there. But he's going to strip the gender. He's going to strip, he's going to strip the gender from the mother. Not address, not even say mother, not address her as her. Nope, just strip that out completely. And I'm pretty sure we know the deep reasoning behind that as well. But two, he says the child was waiting alone, waiting for, or was it hold on, just so I can, was it
alone
a little girl?
and tops. She was tops.
Yeah, a little girl standing outside waiting for her mom. No mother would ever leave their child. like in a public restroom, they would never leave their child waiting outside of the stall for them. What a mother would do, what every mother would do, right? You know, go in, have the kid use have the kid use the restroom, or if they don't need to use it at all, then the mother use the restroom, but still keep them in the stall. Usually they would just tell the kid to turn around, to look away, but still keep them in range, in sight, where they can, where she can see her kid or kids, because leaving them alone, the kid can get snatched easily. They can easily get swiped. So I just don't believe the story is real off of that. There is no way that a mother would ever leave her kid alone in a public restroom ever.
She was standing there alone, I assumed, waiting for her parent who was in the stall. And all the stalls were full. So, like, I couldn't go in. I just
Especially in a full stall too. That's not happening for
had
sure.
to wait. And it was me and this little girl and no one else. And she kind of looked at me like, and, I just like nodded my head and didn't look at her. I was like, it's kind of awkward. And it occurred to me that when the parent, who I don't know, uh, leaves the stall, exits their stall, and sees me,
You see, just actively stripping. It's a mom. We know it's a mom. We know it's a woman, but stripping her gender.
a trans person, and their little 3-year-old daughter, uh, that they might make an assumption based on untrue things that they've heard, an assumption that could be very dangerous for me, unsafe for me. So instead of
No.
waiting for that,
Why doesn't one let me pause? No. And mind you, this is you acknowledging that, in a way, that you are a trans woman who still holds um who still holds his previous, his masculine features. Really, you just look like you're cross-dressing. You don't even look like you changed anything. You just look like you're cross-dressing. Because there's plenty of transgenders that, they do their best to pass, but if they know that, by looks that they can't really pass, then they're not gonna, like a trans woman that knows that he's not gonna pass, well, or that they're not gonna pass, they're not gonna enforce themselves in women's spaces. They stay in their lane, understanding, they don't want to make women uncomfortable. You make it People like him make it, in a sense, make it their mission to make women uncomfortable, to invade themselves in women's spaces, knowing for a fact that they do not need to be there at all. So, in a sense, you surge yourself because you are aware of how you look. You're aware that you can make women uncomfortable, but yet you want to flip the script onto you, make you the victim. No. And this is speaking if the situation is even real. I highly don't believe it is. I highly do not believe it is. But move on to the next clip. Um, so this is him um getting in contact with his bank, and the bank just, is doing their normal, um security procedures when, like, when you call them and try to, um, just do whatever, doing the normal security stuff, just to ensure that your account doesn't get breached. And this what goes down.
A plane ticket to visit my family in a few weeks, and lo and behold, my account got disabled, which is fine. That's normal. It's a big purchase. So I called up and I said, "Hey, my account got disabled." And they said, "Are you calling for yourself or on behalf of someone?" I said, "Nope, I'm on behalf of myself. I'm Lilly." I said, "Lilly, right? Yeah, Lilly." Okay. And then they throw every security question at the book. They're asking my everything, my mom's maiden name, like everything. And
That's normal. They're meant to do that, so they wouldn't mistake you as somebody. They don't want anybody breaching your account, so that's just normal. They want to ensure that it's you.
then they put me on hold, and a hold for a minute or two is fine because it was just like one or two purchases. Like there's not that much to review.
And also, they're understanding that, you have changed your name. You changed your name, but you're still holding the same voice. So looking at the name and the voice, it's confusing. All you had to do was just simply address. You had to simply address, "Hey, oh yeah, I'm a trans woman," so just to, that way it won't be a mix up. But no.
But it's like 10, 15 minutes, and it's like they're not looking at these purchases. They must be like talking to someone. They have to be suspicious. I'm almost certain they're suspicious because of my voice. They come back, and of course they call me sir. Immediately I say, "Nope, I'm not a sir. I'm a transgender woman." And they say, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry, sir." And it's like, okay, now I'm getting really upset because it's obvious what's happening.
And that's all you had to address at the beginning. If you should have just addressed that at the beginning, so there wouldn't be this long mix up, because they're under the impression that you're still like that you're trying to breach into a woman's account. All you had to say was that you're trans first thing, and that's it. That's literally it. I don't even have to continue in this clip further because it's just much of nonsense. That's all it had to be. Now, here comes a very problematic one. This is him describing, um on him waiting to, get his surgery, the surgery to transition at Disneyland around children. A lot of, and this is a major issue within the community, but I'm highlighting trans activists particular. A lot of trans activists and certain very problematic transgenders target children, and I will show that in a minute. They target they target kids. They're very weird around kids. They just have no shame, I guess. Just look at this.
I swear we're about to get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed, and the plan up until recently was to get my marshmallow wand reconfigured into a marshmallow tunnel. Unfortunately, a few weeks ago, I noticed some hair regrowth on my marshmallow wand. That's bad because the outside of the wand is what becomes the inside of.
You hear the children nearby? You hear the children? This man is describing using Disney treats, using Disney treats to kidify the situation, to describe the surgery. and he's around children doing this. See, the thing with the community, especially now, is that plenty of people have no issue. They don't have a problem with, with gays, gays, lesbians, mix up, gays, lesbians, bis. Some are like genuinely people don't really have an issue with like, with just people being those in general. But when you start being a problem, when you start when you start pushing things onto children, that's when the uproar starts, especially here. This is him pretending, cosplaying as Miss Rachel, who's a a very a big child influencer, making content catered towards children specifically, and pushing this stuff onto children. That is the one thing that we actively say that's a no. We can be whatever we want, but this is stuff that we should not push onto children in the slightest bit.
Today we're talking about something super cool called pronouns. Pronouns are little words that help us talk about each other. We all have pronouns. Some people use he and him, like this bear. He's so cuddly. Some people use she and her, like this cat. She's so playful. Some people use they and them. Oh, like this frog. They like to hop. Can you say he's so
No, no. Like this is why like stuff like this is why so many people, like, it's like this, like people like him are what give not only, the trans community a bad name, but just the community as a whole a bad look. We actively, say, we're not pushing none of this onto kids. We leave them alone. Entirely leave them alone. Don't push none of it onto them. But then you have people like this. And here's something that I want to ask for people, for anybody that does like to push these things onto children. Let's say in specific, like pronouns, right? If we in the community as adults are still struggling to grasp this new concept of pronouns, why are we pushing on the kids? We don't even have definites for this new this new concept. So why are we pushing on the kids? Hold on, I just noticed this comment. Is this the same person who was describing their D&B with food at Disneyland in front of kids, and now is making a kids show? Just curious, and is this geared towards adults or children? Because like every other trans person has said that stitch their video, leave the kids out of it. My kids would never approach no adult to call them he, him, her, they, what, it. No child their age should ask them to. Just, yeah, this there's a whole lot going on my mind right now because of this. The same person describing, the surgery using Disney treats with children present, with children around him, you hear it in the video. Well, you don't even need to hear it. It's Disneyland. It's Disneyland. There's always going to be children around. Describing this, and this is also in a sense why there's a separation within the community. There's a lot of separation in the community, if I'm being honest, but there's two main ones. You have the LGBs, which we focus on, you know, sexuality, biology. Then the TQ plus is all identity. And then the other one is do our hardest to separate problematic people like him out of separate them out of the community because we don't rock with that. It's like a lot. It's like to compare, especially nowadays, a lot of black people like myself separating ourselves from ghetto people, from the ghetto culture, because that's not what we're about. We know that we shouldn't we don't like being represented this way because it's a problematic thing, so we're separating from that. We are separating from people like him. Us in the community, we're separating from people like him because it's like they actively give the the community a bad rep, and just pushing things that we do not stand for at all. So people like him, I would genuinely say deserves to be deplatformed. I don't know if that sounds extreme to y'all, but I wholeheartedly believe that somebody like people like him deserve to be deplatformed. And people like James Charles, because I just heard about him, he's still going after minors because he was getting exposed, but at the same time, very loosely self-admitted that he that he was texting minors. Then he was being the predator to straight men, and I guess now he's back, or the whole time he hasn't stopped going after minors. I still got to look into the full situation, but somebody like him deserves to be deplatformed as well. Just people like them just genuinely deserve to be deplatformed. They don't deserve. They need to they need to be called out. Some of them need to be jailed. Do I say that Lilly needs to be jailed? I haven't seen anything as of yet that would deserve that, but somebody like James Charles deserve to be jailed. Many people, many problematic people that are not only causing problems, especially violently, but also going after children deserve to be jailed. Also, going through this TikTok, I seen this. We're not gonna entertain that. We're genuinely not gonna entertain that in the slightest bit. We're just not. Yeah, we're just gonna it's a safe image. We're not gonna entertain that, whatever that is. But we starting off. I wanted to start off this month strong, or at least this month, and for my video schedule to start off strong. And I'm planning on making more content, calling out certain people or calling out certain things relating to relating to the LGBTQ community because they highly do deserve so. Um, because y'all know I be having a lot to say. I be holding my tongue a lot. There's so many topics that I would talk about, but I haven't. But I'm gonna start being more vocal now. I'm genuinely gonna start being more vocal now. But I'm gonna just leave it off at this. Um, rest of the week is gonna get to you just fine. I don't know what I'm gonna do for Friday since that's technically gonna be my birthday video. Is gonna even though it's on Saturday. Um, Probably just play something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll figure it out. I'll see y'all whenever.